right, shalom, shalom. All right, I want to say first and foremost, Kahalayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and abundance to our apostles, taught us this truth, peace, salutations to you, elect. All right, so the book of Deuteronomy 32, and the 26th verse says, "There's none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help." It says, "And his excellency is on the sky. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. He shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, Destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew." It says, "Happy art thou, O Israel." Slack you. It says, "Happy art thou, O Israel." 33, Deuteronomy 33 and 28. "Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heaven shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel. Who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency? Thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread down their high places." Right. So our enemies are being found liars as it stands right now. And everything is being fulfilled according to the scriptures, you know. So you're seeing the climate in the Middle East, you know what I'm saying, is spicing up. Everything's getting spiced up. All right, the Lord is bringing about, you know what I'm saying, his great end, if you will. So it says, Israel-Iran's conflict, the U.S. role. So the U.S. has played a complex role in the Israel-Iran conflict, balancing the military support for Israel with diplomatic efforts to manage tensions and prevent escalation, which this devil's behind everything. We understand this. Now, says the U.S. has a long-standing commitment to Israel's security. All right, not the security of the Israelites, but the security of the Ish state. All right, of them small headers. So it says, often described as ironclad. This includes military aid and intelligence sharing. Recently, the U.S. has positioned missile defense systems in Israel to counter potential Iranian attacks, particularly in light of escalating tensions and military action between Israel and Iran. So Zeddy, the U.S., you know, has to come and support these devils because they don't have any backing in themselves. They're surrounded by none but enemies over there in the land. So the Lord Yahweh Shai said, he said that the God of Israel shall be our refuge, man. All right. So the Lord's taking his favor that he had for these devils, because now he's showing them, he's leaving them up to their own devices, you know, because the time of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. All right. This is a time of you devils to run the earth, and now you're going back into what you are, a servant. You're going back underneath the Israelites. Luke 21 and Luke 21 and 22. It says, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things that are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations." That's where we're at now. "And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now, real quick, let me look at this here. This word time of the Gentiles. So go Luke 21. Shalom, y'all. Bashim Shabbat. My brother Nair Kaila. So Luke 21. Luke 21 and what was it? What was it 24? Yeah, it says, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So the time of the Gentiles, look at that. The word times go kairos. Thought it was 8 eon. All right, but it says Kairos. Yeah, Kairos. So it says due measure, a measure of time, a large or small portion of time, hence a fixed and definite time, a finite time. See, the Lord said he set the bounds of man, they can't pass, right? So there's an appointed time, these devils got to rule and do what they're going to do on the earth. The time when things are brought to crisis, the decisive epoch waited for by who? By us. All right. The manifestation of the children of Israel. All right. The patient faith of the saints. It says the decisive epoch waited for, opportune or seasonable time, the end of these devils' rule. 2 Ezra 6 and 9, the end of Esau's world. Esau's the end of the world, Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. So it says the opportune or seasonable time, the right time, a limited period of time. To what time brings the state of the times, the things, and events of times. All right, so hold on one second. All right, so it says the epoch of times. You get the word for epoch. That's where you get the word época from, Spanish. Meaning age, epoch, epoch says point marking the start of a new period in time. Yeah, the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. That's the time that the eternal God shall be our refuge. At the end of that age, everything has an appointed time. All right, it's a time to love, time to hate. Right? It says Ecclesiastes 3. Kingdoms have their times. Men have their times. You know, everybody has their time. So it says to pause, take up a position, epoch. Yeah, the Lord gave these devils their position in their due time. All right, so now it says a fixed and definite time when things are brought to crisis. The decisive epoch waited for. The decisive fall, the time of the fall, the time of the Gentiles. Opportune, seasonable time, the right time, a limited period of time. To what time brings the state of times, the things and events of time. So time is marked by the prophecies. All right, scripture tells you 2 Ezra 9, measured out of time diligently in itself. Was I see as part of the signs come, then thou shalt know that that's the time that the highest spake of, you know. So so the eternal God is that refuge. I tell you in Deuteronomy 33 and 20, was that 27? All right. So it says back in Luke 21 and 24, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Get the word for fulfilled. See, everything got to be fulfilled. The measure of these devils' time to rule, our punishment, the punishment of Dar Zion's accomplished. That's another word for fulfilled, accomplished. All right. When you fulfilled, you're accomplished. You feel accomplished, right? So these things got to be accomplished, fulfilled. All right. Before we get our kingdom. So it says to make full, to fill up. The word right here, fulfilled, in Strong's 41:37. Strong's 41:37. And Luke 21:24. It says to make full, fill up, fill to the full, to the brim. The cause to abound, furnish. It says to fill to the top, so that wanting nothing, to fill a measure, to fill to the brim. There you go. I was looking for that. To consummate, to number, to make complete, every particular, to render perfect, to carry through to the end, to accomplish, to carry out under some undertaking, to carry into effect, to bring to realization, realize of matters of duty, to perform, execute of sayings and promises, prophecies, to bring to pass, ratify, accomplish. Right. So until the fulfillment of these devils go down, we ain't gonna be in safety alone. Israel shall dwell in safety alone. Deuteronomy 33:28. Then shall Israel dwell in safety alone, after the Lord says, thrust out the enemy from before thee and destroy them. It tells you Deuteronomy 33:27. Thy eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath thy arms are the everlasting arms, and he shall thrust out thy enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy him. He's going to give us orders like he gave Saul the orders to destroy Amalek, but he didn't listen. So that's why he told him rebellion is sin and witchcraft. 1 Samuel 15:23. But this time we're gonna take heed. We're gonna be spirits created for vengeance and appease the wrath of the Lord that made us. So hey, we're gonna take vengeance upon Edom. The Lord said, I'll lay my vengeance upon Edom, such as they never heard. I'll lay my vengeance upon Edom. As well as Isaiah 35, I believe. Ezekiel 25, this one too. And 14 says, I will lay vengeance, my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord power. Yeah, the people shall know my vengeance when he fulfilled. This directly links right up with Jeremiah 51:20. This directly links right up with it. All right, so it says, I'll lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. That's why he said, thou my battle axe, weapons of war, Jeremiah 51:20. With the Lord's going to judge the nations, man, pursuing Revelation 2:26 on down, you know. All right, so it says, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The Lord shall destroy them and shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon the land of corn and wine. Also, his heaven shall drop down dew. That's what the Lord said, the early and latter rain. See, our heaven is going to drop down dew. You know, happy art thou, Israel, for who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread down in high places. That's right. Pursuant to Isaiah 2, man. Pursuant to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus said the word of the Lord, that the son Isaiah, son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in that last days that the mountain of the house of the Lord's house shall be established on the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills. That's the refuge. And all nations shall flow onto it. All right. And many people shall say, go and say, come, let us go up to the house of the God of Jacob, the mountain of the Lord, the government of the Lord, and he will teach us of his ways. And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. All right. So out of Zion shall go forth the law of the Lord, the law of the land, man. All right. You get the word from mountain. For this is the mountain, Isaiah 2. And 2, the word for mountain. All right, and this mountain, will the Lord, will the word of the Lord come out of? All right, out of his people, out of his men that he foreknew. All right, it says hill country mountain. All right, the word meaning government. All right, so it says he shall judge amongst the nations. All right, Isaiah 2:4. and shall rebuke many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. And they shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. That's how it proves that it proves the fact that that they're not the people because of the conflict that's going on right now, and that's going on throughout the years. That's been going on throughout the years, man, in the land, and the more parades and all that fulfill Isaiah 26:10. In the land of uprightness, they will not learn righteousness. They will not learn the right way. All right. So it says, the 5th verse, O house of Jacob, come and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and our soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. Their land is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures, and their land is full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humble himself. Therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for the fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. For the lofty looks of man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashai alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up he shall be brought low. So he said his favor is on to the lowly. He's with that's what we're going to defend in the time of trouble. Lord's going to be with the lowly. All right. Because many the Lord's going to come to humble many lofty looks. All right. So 2 Samuel 22 and 2, and he said, start the 1st verse actually. And David spake unto the Lord in the words of this song in the day that the Lord had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies, out of the hand of Saul. And he said, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is my rock and my fortune and my deliverer. For the power of my rock, and him will I trust, and he is my shield and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower, my refuge, and my savior. Thou hast saved me from violence. I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from all my enemies. When the waves of death have compassed me about, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about, and the snares of death prevented me. In my distress, I called unto the Lord and cried to my power, and he did hear my voice out his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled, and the foundation of heaven moved and shook, because he was wroth. Yeah. And King David, he sung the song of Moses too, just like the song we're singing today. And that song was in the mouth of babes. Because the scripture tell you that in the mouth of babes, perfected praise. King David was a babe, if you will. Moses was a babe. All right, underrated. They were underrated, man. Overlooked. That's why I tell you in 1 Samuel 16, look not upon the height of his countenance, nor of his stature. For the Lord to see it not as man see it. All right, that's what Samuel said, man. All right, so this song was given to mysteries are revealed unto, I tell you in Sirach 3. This song was given to the lowly, who the Lord is going to come redeem from the hands of the man of sin. That worm that received that word. All right, Sirach 3, many mysteries are revealed unto the lowly, unto the meek. Sirach 3. The Lord has what? Abhorred the proud, meaning he set them aside for judgment. Abhor meaning to put aside, to not deal with. So it says Sirach 3 and 19 says, many are in a high place of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek, like King David. All right, so 2 Samuel 22 and 7. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried to my God. He did hear my voice out of his temple and cried, and my cry did enter into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The earth is going to shake and tremble, at the new song that we're singing, Then the earth shook and trembled. That's the song of Moses. the foundation of heaven and moved and shook because he was wroth, because he was angry for the controversy of Zion, the jealousy that the Lord said he's gonna cry as a travailing woman. All right, he gonna be jealous for our sakes. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils and fire out his mouth, devoured coals were kindled by it. That's the missiles. That's the missiles. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Yeah, that's a future prophecy. All right, the Lord's gonna come down here himself, and darkness was under his feet. What does the scriptures tell you about? This is twofold. It speaks about his feet being dark, but it also is really symbolic of the destruction he's gonna come bring. Because scriptures tell you the day of the Lord is darkness, not light. You know, but it's also relating with Revelation, the first chapter. It said his feet was onto fine bread, as it burnt in the oven. See, it says his feet was as under his feet was darkness, and he rode upon a cherub. That's a UFO, and did fly. And he was seen upon the wings of the wind. All right. So the Lord flew upon the wings of the wind. All right. So it says, and he made darkness pavilions round about him, and dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. All right. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. All right. The Lord said he thundered, who would not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. Right. When the Lord thunders, who will not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? That's 2 16:11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder? Who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? All right. So 2 Samuel 2:22, and the Lord threatened from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, and lightning, and discomfited them. All right, we're gonna discomfit Amalek by the edge of the sword. All right, that's also in there. All right, we're gonna discomfit, just as in the days of old. I think that was a Joshua. It said discomfort Amalek. Yeah, Joshua. Exodus 17 and the 12 verse 11. My bad. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat there on, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands on the one side, and on the one side, and on the other side. And his hands were steady and going down to the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Lord Yahweh Shemashai said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the sun. So you devils, you're gonna be put out from under the sun, man. Your remembrance is gonna be blotted out. All right, and the Most High gonna make us the excellency of many generations, the refuge. As it says, it make us to dwell alone. As I tell you in Deuteronomy 33, it started with. All right, the Lord gonna make us to dwell at safety alone. After he thrust out the enemy from before us and say, destroy them. Pursuant to the 27th verse. So 2 Samuel 2 and 15, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, and lightning and discomfited them. And the channels of the sea appeared, and the foundation of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent me from above. He took me away. He drew me out of many waters, amongst many people. He delivered me from my strong enemy, this devil, and from them that hated me, the whole world, for they were too strong for me. They had more strength than us in the flesh, but there'd be more that's with us than they that be with them. I tell you in 2 Kings 6 and 16. All right, he brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, According to the cleanliness of my hands have he recompensed me. All right. That's the sure mercies of David, because David had blood on his hands, right? That's why he didn't build the temple. That was his son. That was Solomon, right? Now the Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands, has he recompensed me. Yeah, because his son was gonna be the one end up ruling at the end, anyways. All right, just as was foreshadowed during their lives, then or Okay, so it says, the Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands, have he recompensed me. For I kept the ways of the Lord, have not did wickedly, departing from my power. For all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not prevent them. And I was also upright before him, and have kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore the Lord have recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanness in his eyesight. With the merciful thou shalt thyself merciful, and with the upright man thou shalt thyself upright. With the pure thou shalt show thyself pure, and with the forward thou will show thyself unsavory. Yeah, most unsavory. The Lord's most unsavory with the forward, with the wicked. And the afflicted people thou wilt save, but thy eyes are upon the haughty, that thou mayest bring them down. For thou art my lamp, O Lord, and the Lord will lighten my darkness. For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my power I have leaped over a wall. Yeah, we're going to run through armies, man. All right. As for Yahweh Shemashai, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him. For who is the God that saved the Lord? And who is a rock save our power? Who is a rock? Who is a refuge? The Most High is my strength, and my power. He has made my way perfect. He make my feet like hinds feet, and he set me upon my high places. He teach my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. Thou givest also me the shield of thy salvation, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, so that my feet did not slip. For I have pursued my enemies and destroyed them, and turned not again until I had consumed them. I have consumed them and wounded them, that they could not arise. Yeah, when we wound these devils, they're not going to arise. See, last time their deadly wound was healed. All right, but we're gonna wound these devils to the point where they ain't gonna be able to arise, because we're gonna have too much power. It says Zephaniah 3 and no, Zechariah 8 and 12. Say, I'll cause the remnant of his people to possess all things. The seed shall be prosperous. So we're gonna possess all the power. For I have consumed them and wounded them. 2 Samuel 22 and 39. I have consumed them and wounded them, that they cannot arise. Yeah, they are fallen under my feet. That has girded me with strength to a battle. Then them that rose up against me hast thou subdued under me. Thou hast also given me the neck of my enemies, that I may destroy them that hate me. They looked, but there was none to save unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them as small as the dust of the earth. I did stamp them out as the mire of the street, and did spread them abroad. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of my people. Thou hast kept me to be the head of the heathen. A people which I knew not shall serve me. Strangers shall submit themselves unto me. As soon as they hear, they shall be obedient unto me. The strangers shall fade away, and they shall be afraid at their close places. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the power of my salvation. It is my God that avengeth me, that bringeth down the people under me, that bringeth me forth from my enemies. Thou hast lifted me up on high above those that rose up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man, the most violent man, this devil. All right, therefore I will give thanks unto thee, O Lord, among the heathen, and I will sing thy praise unto thy name. And he is the tower of salvation for his king, and he showeth mercy to his anointed, unto David, and to his seed forevermore. All right. So that's why I said Zechariah 8 and 12, the seed shall be prosperous. All right. And I'll cause the remnant of his people possess all things. Psalms 48 and 1. Great is the Lord Yahweh Shai, greatly to be praised in the city of our power, in the mountain of his holiness. Yeah, because that's what all we're going to be doing in the kingdom, praising the Lord and getting rich, getting wealthy. We're gonna be getting wealthy. Every day we're gonna be producing substance. The earth is going to be giving our increase, and we're going to have myriad of slaves, children, for forever. All right. So it says, beautiful for a situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. Yeah, we're going to be in a beautiful situation. Psalms 48 and 2. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king, the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai, is known in her palaces for a refuge. For lo, the kings were assembled, they passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took a hold upon them there, and pain as a woman travailed. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with the east wind. As he have heard, so have we seen in the cities of the Lord of hosts. In the city of our God, the Most High Bashem Shai, will he establish it forever. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O Most High, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice, and let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. And walk about Zion, and go around about her, and tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks, and consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. So for this is our power. He is our God forever and ever, and he will be our God even unto death. All right. That's why it says, those that love not their lives unto the death. Revelation 12 and 11. I was going to say 11 and 12, but it says 12 and 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. That's right. So this is our power. Psalms 48 and 14. Our God forever and ever, for he will be our guide even unto death. All right. Psalms 46 and 5. It says, the Most High Bashem Shai is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. The Most High shall help her that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. Yeah, the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Seeing all these things shall be dissolved, man, a person are you to be in all holy conversation of godliness. 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. All right, seeing all these things shall be dissolved. So the earth was moved, the kingdoms were moved, the heathen raged, and he uttered his voice, and the earth melted. The Lord didn't get a command. They said, fire proceed out their mouths. Or if any man will hurt them, and these devils have hurt us. Now the Lord is going to hurt the earth and the sea. All right. I tell you in Revelation, the 17th chapter. All right. He gonna burn the whore. So it said the 7th verse, Psalms 46 and 7. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah, come behold the works of the Lord. What desolations he had made in the earth. All right. What desolation he had made on earth. The desolate wilderness that's going to be America. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. What war? The war that's going on over there, over the land that's not theirs. All these different wars, skirmishes, Africa, you know. Amongst Jake in the countries, they always got somebody getting killed. That's all byproduct of the white man ruling. So it says he maketh wars to cease on the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Yeah, he's going to come with rebuke and chariot flame of fire. It's Isaiah 66 and 15. The 10th verse. But be still and know that I am the Most High Bashem Shai. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai of armies is with us. The God of Jacob, Yahweh, is our refuge. Selah. All right. So yeah, with that, I'll leave it there. And I said, call him like Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakodash. I dub on so apostle teachers and peace I take to you election. All right. So Psalms 46 and 10, be still and know that I am the Most High, but I shall be exalted amongst the heathen, and I'll be exalted in the earth. After he make wars to end, to cease. After he cut the bow, the spear asunder, and burn the chariot in the fire. For come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolation he had made in the earth. For the Lord host is with us, and the God of Jacob is our refuge. All right. So the 11th verse said, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. All right. So with that, Shalom, Lebekwayim, Shaya Sharala, and Wa Ba Ba Shalom.